Hello everyone and welcome to a first look at GDDV 501, Lighting and Rendering. My name is Kasanis. Guys, this is a brand new series on my channel, and once again, this is a course designed for my students at Centennial College in the Game Development Program. This is a third-year course. Today, we're going to do an introduction to the course itself. That's all we're going to do today, take a look at what we're going to be studying within this course. Remember, this is a series that is designed for my Centennial students. It's the asynchronous portion of their learning. Because of COVID this year, everything is going to be online. My students are going to receive content like this online where they're going to learn, and afterwards we'll move into the classroom for 3 hours for in-class, in-depth discussions, deep dive into the material. So what you're seeing here is really the surface of the material that the students are going to kind of learn on their own time, and then afterwards we're going to do a deep dive into that material through examples and practical learning. All right, so let's get started. So as I've mentioned, today is strictly going to be a course introduction. Let's start off by taking a look at the course description. Lighting and rendering covers the fundamentals of creating compelling visuals for their use in games through the study of visual storytelling and cinematography. Students explore the game camera, creating materials, designing scenes, using various lighting setups and environments. If you look it up online, that is the description you're going to find. And even though this course is called Lighting and Rendering, the way this course was originally designed, I didn't like it. In fact, I didn't think it had enough to do with game. It was more aimed at visual effects and the creation of cinematics, and that is not what this course should be about. So instead, this course is a cinematography for games course. That's what I've converted it into. We're going to be looking at cinematography for games, and that includes everything that you see in the frame, all the visuals that you see in the frame. That's going to include UX, it's going to include the actual game mechanic, the camera mechanics, everything like that. It's a very broad view of what cinematography for games is. All right, now this is one course. This is one course, and cinematography is an entire degree on its own. So really and truly, take that as it may. What we're going to be doing here is a real introduction to cinematography. We're going to be covering the basics. All right? So the course learning outcomes. The students will reliably demonstrate the ability to apply the principles of cinematography to advance the game narrative, evoke emotion or create mood through the use of proper in-game camera, lighting, and cinematography theory, utilize different game engine capabilities for lighting and camera to create visuals and player experience. So when you're finished this course, that's what you're going to know how to do. Now, as I've already mentioned, this is a flipped classroom, meaning I'm going to be supplying you asynchronous material that you as a student are going to be responsible for learning. It's your responsibility to watch these videos and understand the content. There is going to be several online exercises that you have to complete in order to be involved within the synchronous portion of our class. The synchronous portion of the class will take place over a number of hours, and it's going to involve practical understanding of the material, practical demonstration of what we've taught. It's also going to involve a deep dive into the material itself, and that deep dive is going to be started with the online discussions that you're involved with. All right, guys? So remember, as a student, and I think this is a really great opportunity. I've already said this before in other videos, but honestly, I think that this is a really great opportunity for you as students. After this is all done, I may continue to deliver my content in this way and move into the classroom and do deep dive material in the classroom as well. I think this is going to allow for a much deeper education for my students. So I'm actually quite excited about this. I'm not excited about COVID. That stinks. It stinks to be stuck at home all day. But that's where we're at right now. All right, guys. So the course itself is broken into two different sections. The first section is going to be academic concepts of cinematography. We are going to be taking an academic view. So you've got the academic lexicon that you can rely on. You'll be able to understand what we're talking about and then apply those principles in the second half of this course. We're going to be doing implementation of concepts within Unity, within the game engine Unity. So in the first half of this course, like I said, it's strictly academic concepts. And what we'll be doing, we'll be exploring these academic concepts through a real world camera. I don't like to move into engine. I don't like to work in 3D space. I don't like to work in virtual space to begin with. It takes time to set up a virtual environment. It takes time to build all the different scenes that you might need in order to create these images. So rather than doing so, we're going to be working with cameras. I don't care what kind of camera you use. I don't care if you use your iPhone or your smartphone or whatever you've got. I don't care if you have a $10,000 Hasselblad DSLR. I don't care what you use, but you're going to be generating real world images, and we're going to be analyzing those real world images in class. We will be exploring topics in cinematography as well. So we'll talk about the idea of compositional guidelines. We'll talk about camera angles, framing, continuity, everything that goes into creating a good image. And those will be applied to virtual images afterwards in the second half of the course. In the second half of the course, the practical implementation, we'll be working within Unity. And at that time, you're going to put everything you learned in the academic section into use now. That's what you're going to be doing. You'll be putting everything you've learned within the academic section into the use within Unity. So you'll be working with Unity cameras. We'll take a look at special effects. We'll talk about pre-rendered video and importing that into Unity. We'll talk about lighting and shaders. And of course, we'll talk about Cinemachine. That's a huge part of Unity right now. So we'll talk about all of that kind of stuff in the practical section of this course, so the second half of this course. But like I said, having a clear foundation, a clean foundation of understanding is going to allow you to create good visuals within the virtual space, within Unity. Okay, so the expectations, my expectations of this course, it's a really lecture-heavy course. In fact, it can go on for some time. I can babble on. I have a tendency to babble on sometimes. I'm going to try and keep this asynchronous portion down every week to about 1 hour, maybe 1.5 hours. That's what you'll be responsible for on your own. Afterwards, when we move in the classroom, we'll have discussions that'll be anywhere between 1.5 hours and up to 2.5 or 3 hours long. And it won't simply be discussions. We'll take our time. You'll have online discussion board. In your online discussion board, I'll ask you some particular topic that I want you to discuss, or maybe I'll have you demonstrate your abilities that you've learned, or maybe I'll have you post an image that you like and discuss that particular image. And we will use that online board as a jumping off point for our synchronous talks as well, right? We'll use that to dive deep in everything else. And we're also going to be exploring games. That's going to be a really important part. We're going to take a look at our pre-existing games that already exist. We'll look at a bunch of student games that I have, or any other game that really you'd like to take a look at. I don't mind taking a look at them. And we'll explore them from a cinematic point of view, from a cinematography point of view, and look at what issues they may have had as far as the visuals are concerned, as far as the image that is being presented to the user is concerned. That's what we'll take a look at within those games. Okay, let's talk about our weekly progress. How are we going to move through this entire course? So the first half of the semester, a course intro, which you're sitting in right now. Congratulations, you are working on week 1. In week 2, we'll discuss the real world camera, so understanding the camera itself. In week 3, we'll go into shot composition. Week 4 will be framing. Week 5, we'll talk about the moving camera and movement within the camera. We'll kind of have that in there as well. So a moving camera and movement within the camera. Week 6 is shot transition. So how do you go from shot to shot? In week 7, we're going to be starting into Unity, and we're going to start off with a review of Unity camera and utilizing multiple cameras. And for a lot of you in your third year, you're probably thinking, oh my God, starting with a basic Unity camera. I promise you there's going to be stuff in there that you don't know, right? There always is. I've taught this course many times, and there's always something in there that people say, oh, I didn't know that. Now that I know that, that's great. So week 7 will be Unity camera and multiple cameras, or multiple cameras within your scene. After that, week 8 this year is going to be a game jam, so that's going to be cool. Instead of having an academic week, we're all taking a week off. I'm going to create teams based on first, second, and third year students. I will put you into kind of randomized teams, and inside of those randomized teams, you will have a jam topic, and we're going to spend the entire week jamming. There'll be no classes that particular week. So week 8 across the board. Week 9, we'll discuss Unity lighting, so we'll go into the details of Unity lighting. Week 10, we'll talk about shaders. Week 11, we'll talk about utilizing pre-rendered video. And week 12 will be timeline and Cinemachine. And then week 13 is going to be a presentation. You're going to have a final presentation of your work, and that's all it's going to be. Okay, guys, so let's take a look at how I'm going to grade you, because that's also pretty important. The grades are based on several assignments as well as mini exercises and the discussion board. So assignment 1 is going to be your initial shot. You're just going to post a shot for me and say, this is, I think, is a good image, and you're going to tell me why. Assignment number 2, shot composition. After exploring your initial image, we'll talk about what your initial image was, why you thought it was good, and then we'll go back and we'll take a look at the idea of shot composition. Did you use any of these concepts automatically within your initial shot? So you're going to examine your initial shot again from that point of view. Then you're going to take a brand new shot, again, that is utilizing the ideas that we talk about in class that day. Assignment 3, angles and framing. So shots from different angles, framing it differently. What does it mean? What does it say to your user? Or your viewer, I should say. What does it say to your viewer? Assignment 4 is a film editing and transitions assignment. So in that particular assignment, and this might be a little bit difficult because at that time, we might still be isolated. You guys are going to be responsible for making a very short film. A very short film and editing it together properly. If we're still isolated, guys, I will work out some way that we can do this. Don't worry. Assignment 5, your final assignment, is going to be about creating a cut scene or a dialogue point or something, an introduction scene for your final game. You're going to have another course with me, and in that course, it's basically going to be a full game. You're going to be creating a game. That's all you'll be doing, and all of your third-year courses are going to lead into that game. So you'll have deliverables in all of your courses that are going to be used for that game. And that way you've really got a lot of time to work on your capstone project. So in this particular course, in your final assignment, you will be creating some type of story point, narrative point of some kind, some type of introduction. I don't care what it is. It could be an entire dialogue system. I don't really care what it is. We'll talk about it as we move into that. But your final assignment is going to be with 25%, and it's going to go towards your capstone game. Throughout the year, there's going to be mini exercises that you have to complete, 15% worth. There's going to be discussion boards, and I've put a fairly heavy amount on discussion boards. I want you guys participating in these discussion boards. When you do, it's going to show me that you've actually gone through and done the watching. Not the reading, I guess. You've done the watching. You've actually gone through and you understand the material that we discussed. Cool. The last thing is our jam week. Our chair has asked that every course has a certain percentage that's devoted towards Jam Week. Participation in Jam Week. It's not about producing the best game. I want you guys to take chances. This is your opportunity to take a chance on something strange. I want you to produce something. I want you to participate. If you're not participating, you're not getting that 5%, and that's 5% in every single course that you're taking next semester. All right, guys, that brings us to the end of this particular video. That is the introduction to this course. I hope you guys are looking forward to it. I am definitely looking forward to it. I can't wait to get started this year because that means I'll be done recording all these videos. No, honestly, I can't wait to get started, guys. I'm excited about this year. I'm looking forward to what you're going to be producing. All right? If you're not in my class and you're watching this on YouTube, awesome, guys. I want you guys to participate as well. I want you to discuss things within the comment section. I love to hear from you guys. I love it. Put stuff in the comments. I'm not going to be able to answer it back, but if you post stuff up there, I'm sure other people will. All right, guys, if you're interested in coming to Centennial College, feel free to write me an email. My information is all on the Centennial College website under the Game Development Coordinator. All right, everyone? I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, let me know with a thumbs up, and if you didn't, a thumbs down is perfectly fine. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me at all, guys. So thumbs up or thumbs down, great. Comments, I love. All right, thumbs up. Thumbs down, comments down below, and if you haven't done so, please take a few seconds to subscribe. Have yourselves a wonderful day, everyone.